Quick question before we start. Did you know that a genuinely massive housing bill just became federal law, and it could put thousands of dollars back into the pockets of older Americans? I'm not talking about some obscure regulatory tweak that only affects a handful of people in one county somewhere. This bill cleared the Senate 85-5. Then the House passed it 358-30. To go find me another piece of legislation from the last few years that earned that kind of bipartisan agreement. You won't. This was a big deal, and yet the news cycle gave it maybe 2 days of coverage, buried it under a mountain of legal jargon, and moved on to the next headline. Which means the people who actually need this information, older homeowners, renters on fixed incomes, folks trying to downsize, families hoping their kids might someday afford a home, never really got the memo. I am no expert, but on this channel, every week I cover the real financial information that affects seniors directly. The rules that changed, the protections you already qualify for, and the steps that actually make a difference. This is exactly the kind of content I put out every single week, and you do not want to miss it. If that's the kind of information you want to hear, then make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now. Now let's get into it. So that's what today is for. I read through the actual legislation, pulled out what matters most if you're an older adult, and I'm walking you through it in plain English. 5 real wins, what each one means for your life, exactly what to do about it, and yes, a few places where this law still falls short. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know precisely what you qualify for and what to do this week. Let's get into it. The reason lawmakers went after housing at all is that the country is short something like 4 to 7 million homes, depending on whose estimate you use. And that gap has been a major driver behind rising home prices and climbing rents for years. A lot of seniors end up trapped either way, stuck in a house that's become too big and too expensive to keep up, or stuck in a rental with a corporate landlord who feels impossible to reach. This new law, officially called the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, attacks that problem from several angles at once. More supply, stronger renter protections, more support for aging in place, and more realistic paths for downsizing. It isn't flawless. I'll show you exactly where, but it's the broadest housing legislation Congress has passed in decades, and older adults have a real stake in it. Win 1. Help fixing up the home you already have. Picture this. You're 76. You've lived in the same house for 3 decades, but the bathroom's gotten dangerous. No grab bars, a slick tub, bad lighting. The front steps have no railing. The roof's had a slow leak you've been catching with a bucket for 2 years. And somewhere between $8,000 and $15,000 in repairs stands between you and staying there safely. On a fixed income, that number might as well be $1 million. The law funds programs aimed at exactly this, federally backed help for qualifying homeowners, including lower income seniors, to fix the things that make a home unsafe. Grab bars, entry ramps, wider doorways for a wheelchair or walker, weatherization like insulation and window replacement to cut energy costs, and removal of hazards like mold or lead paint. These aren't cosmetic upgrades. They're the difference between aging in your own home with dignity and being pushed into a facility before you're ready. I'll be straight with you. A lot of this rolls out as pilot programs, meaning funding and structure exist. But availability will phase in region by region rather than appearing everywhere overnight. Here's what to do now. Call your local area agency on aging. Find yours at eldercare.acl.gov or by calling 1-800-677-1116. They track exactly when these programs land in your zip code. If you're in a rural area, also check your local USDA Rural Development Office. They already run repair programs this law builds on. Win 2. More places to actually downsize into. This one hits home for a lot of people. You've got a 4-bedroom house, the kids left 15 years ago, and you're done mowing a lawn you don't need. You want something smaller and cheaper to heat, ideally with a little equity left over from the sale. Problem is, when you go looking, there's often nothing smaller in your price range, in your area, near your doctors and your friends. So you stay put in a house that no longer fits your life because there's nowhere sensible to land. This law leans hard on expanding the housing types that have historically been underbuilt. Accessory dwelling units, small separate units on an existing lot, sometimes called in-law suites. Duplexes, townhomes, manufactured and modular homes, and converting empty commercial buildings into housing. An ADU can work both directions. Build one and move into the smaller unit while renting out the main house, or stay in the main house and rent the ADU for extra income. Manufactured and modular homes get real attention too, since they carry an outdated stigma but are often dramatically cheaper to build, and now easier to finance under updated lending rules. The law also directs HUD to publish zoning best practices for local governments and gives them support to actually reform restrictive codes, the kind of codes that in many towns make it flatly illegal to build anything besides one large single-family home per lot. None of this flips overnight. Zoning reform and new construction take years to show up as available inventory. But if you're thinking about downsizing in the next 1 to 5 years, start talking to a HUD-approved housing counselor now, free of charge, so you understand what's coming and what it means for your finances. Win 3, real teeth for renters dealing with corporate landlords. If you rent and your building got scooped up by a big investment firm, you know the drill. Maintenance requests vanish into a call center, new fees appear that weren't in your lease, and there's no actual person to hold accountable, just a portfolio of thousands of units behind a corporate name. The law creates a renter outreach and complaint resource specifically aimed at renters dealing with large institutional landlords, giving tenants a federally recognized channel to flag mistreatment. It also works to preserve existing public and rural rental stock rather than letting it deteriorate out of the market. And it opens the Housing Choice Voucher Program, Section 8, to more landlords and property types, which means more places willing to accept voucher holders. There's even a pilot for temperature monitoring in federally assisted housing, because extreme heat and cold are genuinely dangerous for older residents, and a documented reading creates accountability when a unit isn't being kept safe. I do want to set realistic expectations here. These stronger protections apply most directly to federally assisted housing, public housing voucher holders, HUD-subsidized buildings. If you're renting privately with no federal subsidy attached, your day-to-day protection still comes down mostly to your state and local tenant laws, and those vary a lot from one state to the next. If you're dealing with a rough situation in a private rental right now, your best moves are learning your state's specific tenant rights, keeping a paper trail of every interaction, and reaching out to a local legal aid office or tenant rights organization. Many offer help completely free of charge. Now, here's what I want you to actually do with this. The benefits, discounts, and assistance programs most seniors qualify for but never use, I put them all in one place, organized by state and by program, so you're not stuck digging through confusing government sites for hours. It's fast, it's clear, and any senior can find what applies to them. Wherever you live, there's very likely help on the table you haven't claimed yet. It's called the Senior Exemption Playbook, and it's pinned in the first comment right under this video. One tap, and it's yours. Now stay with me, because Win 5 is where this law delivers its biggest financial unlock for lower-income seniors. The one piece almost nobody applying for housing help ever thinks to ask about. Win 4. Putting limits on Wall Street's home buying spree. You've watched this happen over the past several years. Big investment firms buying up single-family homes by the thousands, renting them out, and quietly pulling that inventory away from regular buyers. Fewer homes on the market, more competition, and first-time buyers getting outbid by a corporation with unlimited cash instead of another family. Here's the actual mechanism. Any company or investment group with direct or indirect control over 350 or more single-family homes is now generally barred from buying additional ones, with a handful of specific carve-outs like build-to-rent projects and home ownership assistance programs. That restriction kicks in 180 days after enactment, and violators face civil penalties up to $1 million per violation, or 3 times the purchase price, whichever is larger. I want to be honest about the limits here, the same way housing advocates have been. 6 months is a long runway for investors who already have the resources to keep buying right up to the deadline. The law doesn't force anyone to sell homes they already own. Existing portfolios stay exactly where they are. And because the 350 home threshold applies per entity, there's a real risk that large investors restructure into multiple smaller entities to stay under the line, something regulators and Congress will likely have to revisit. Don't expect prices to drop the day the restriction takes effect. This slows the problem. It doesn't reverse it. But paired with the supply side changes in Win 2, it's a real, if gradual, shift back toward individual buyers, including whichever family member you're rooting for to finally buy a place of their own. Win 5, this is where the numbers actually work in your favor. Here's a problem that rarely gets discussed. Say you want to buy a $95,000 home in a lower cost part of the country, a completely realistic price in plenty of towns. You can afford it, you've got savings for a down payment, but lenders often won't touch a mortgage that small because the fees and interest it generates aren't worth their time. So you get priced out of housing you could genuinely afford purely because the financing system wasn't built for it. The law directs HUD to pilot a small dollar mortgage program for loans of $100,000 or less, potentially bundled with help for closing costs, appraisals, and down payments. It also funds infrastructure upgrades, accessibility improvements, and preservation efforts for manufactured home communities, vital since many of these communities have been targeted by developers hiking lot rents or shutting parks down entirely, leaving residents with nowhere to go. And the piece that ties everything together, the law significantly expands funding for HUD-approved housing counseling, with an explicit focus on serving older adults. This is the add-on that can nearly double how useful every other benefit in this law becomes for you. Because a counselor can tell you specifically whether you qualify for the repair pilot, whether downsizing makes financial sense right now, what your rights are as a renter, and whether that small dollar mortgage fits your situation, all for free or close to it. Find one at hud.gov or by calling 1-800-569-4287. Write that number down. Let's bring it together. This law, passed with rare veto-proof bipartisan majorities, and now in effect, delivers a whole home repair pilot to help you age in place safely, more downsizing options through ADUs, manufactured housing, and zoning reform, stronger protections and a real complaint channel for renters, meaningful limits on institutional home buying, and a small dollar mortgage pilot backed by expanded free housing counseling. Is it perfect? No. The 180-day delay before investor restrictions kick in is longer than it should be. The entity-based threshold has an obvious loophole, and most of the supply-side benefits will take years to fully show up. Congress will likely have to come back and tighten some of this. I'll keep you posted as that happens. But here's what's certain. The people who benefit are the ones who know this exists and actually act on it. So call 1-800-677-1116 for your local area agency on aging. Call 1-800 00569 4287 for a HUD-approved housing counselor.